To our top story now, amidst the ongoing deadlock over the centre's farm laws, the Supreme Court appointed committee is going to be holding its first meeting at Pusa campus in Delhi today. The apex court had stayed the implementation of the three laws on Jan 11 and constituted a four-member panel to resolve the impasse. One of the panel members, Bharatiya Kisan Union President Bhupinder Singh Mann, however, recused from the committee last week. I beg your pardon. Farmers have rejected the Supreme Court constituted committee, questioning its neutrality and claiming its members have publicly voiced support for the government's farm reforms. Farmers have also filed a plea in the Supreme Court seeking removal of all three Supreme Court panel members and demanding a new mediation committee. Meanwhile, the 10th round of government-farmer talks, which was to be held today, has been rescheduled for tomorrow. And politics is erupting over summons sent to NIA to 40 people, including Punjabi actor Deep Sidhu and farmer leader Baldev Singh, for alleged links to Khalistani groups. Opposition and farmer leaders question centre's intent while terming it an arm-twisting technique. More on that on this report.
A new twist to the protests against the new farm laws. The National Investigation Agency is expanding the probe into foreign funding and alleged Khalistani link of some of the activists involved in the agitation. The NIA, acting on an FIR filed in December last year, has summoned 40 people, including actor-activist Deep Sidhu, farmer leader Baldev Singh and 38 others. The activists are calling the summons a government plot to weaken their fight.
ਸਾਡੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਧਾਂਤ ਹੀ ਦਸਵੰਧ ਕੱਢਣ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਦਾ ਦਸਵੰਧ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੀ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਹੋਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਾਬਤੇ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਾਬਤੇ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਮਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਢੰਗ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨੀਵੇਂ ਥਾਂ ਭਾਲਿਓ
The farmers are accusing the government of trying to arm twist them.
NIA को संविधान के दायरे में रहकर काम करना चाहिए. NIA संविधान के दायरे से बाहर काम कर रहा है. ये ठीक नहीं है. अगर उन्होंने ये हरकत ठीक नहीं की तो हमें न्यायालय जाना पड़ेगा.
अपीयर होंगे NIA के सामने?
अपीयर क्यों होंगे? अपीयर नहीं होंगे, न्यायालय जाएंगे.
The summons have sparked a big political face-off as well.
They had 4 parrots: IT, ED, NCB and CBI. Now they have roped in the fifth parrot, which is NIA. Just to suppress this Andolan, I think the government has taken it too personally.
किसानों के प्रति, किसानों के सम्मान के प्रति, किसानों की समृद्धि के प्रति ये सरकार पूरी तरह कमिटेड है, कमिटेड रहेगी. उसके लिए किसी के प्रमाण पत्र की जरूरत नहीं है.
The NIA summons come after the centre told the Supreme Court that suspected Khalistani elements have infiltrated the farm stir. Farmers claim the Khalistani link is being drawn to discredit their agitation. The charges and counter-charges have further vitiated the atmosphere ahead of the next round of talks between the government and farmers. With Kamaljit Sandhu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
A TMC worker has been hacked to death in Bengal's Jalpaiguri. A TMC worker, Ranjit Adhikari, was chopped with a sharp-edged weapon by the assailants. He died on the spot. The TMC worker was killed after he was on his home from a party event. Police have registered a case and started investigation into this particular matter after TMC pinned blame on BJP for saffron party workers in connection with the murder. The BJP, however, has refuted the charge, claiming the TMC worker was killed as a result of infighting. Remember, dozens of political workers have been killed in Bengal since the past few years, mostly in the clash between the TMC and BJP workers. The Bengal political fight is heating up ahead of the assembly polls. A day after Mamata Banerjee's death to the former aide and now BJP leader Shivendu Adhikari, the chief minister is going to be addressing another rally today in Purulia. The war of words between Didi and Shivendu is likely to escalate as Shivendu himself is visiting East Midnapore. He's going to be addressing a public rally and is set to continue his attack on Mamata Banerjee. Remember, the TMC Supremo on Monday had attacked the BJP, calling it Gundabaz party. There was violence at Shivendu's Kolkata Road after TMC workers allegedly pelted stones at BJP workers. The battle for Bengal truly heats up. Mamata Banerjee has declared she's going to be contesting the assembly polls from Shivendu Adhikari's stronghold Nandigram. Her former aide has responded saying that he will defeat Didi or quit politics. Here's a look.
Chaos, pandemonium, stone pelting. BJP workers and TMC supporters come face to face on the streets of Kolkata during Shivendu Adhikari's roadshow.
Just when the roadshow was passing by the Tolligan area, you can see suddenly there was this allegation that stones were pelted by Trinamool Congress supporters, and immediately BJP supporters rushed to that zone. So clearly you can see it's a very bad situation out here.
Adhikari, who recently quit the TMC and joined the BJP, was leading the roadshow along with Bengal BJP President Dilip Ghosh near Mamata's residence in South Kolkata constituency when the violence started. The BJP workers claimed they were attacked. In the chaos, several vehicles were vandalized.
Mini Pakistan bola Montri totha Kolkata Corporation প্রশাসক তার ছোট ছোট ভাইরা কয়েকটা পাথর ছুঁড়ছিল আর আপনারা যা তাড়াটা করলেন না দেখার মতো আমি আমার যুব মোর্চার ভাইদের একটু স্যালুট করছি একদম ওই মোদিজির মতো না अंदर घुस के मारा
Away from the street fight, the TMC Supremo dared the BJP on Shivendu's home turf in South Bengal's Nandigram.
दंगाबाज गुंडाबाज बीजेपी के चाइना 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 दंगाबाज गुंडाबाज बीजेपी के चाइना 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 रक्त देबो कलिजा देबो बीजेपी के वोट देबो ना
Mamata claimed she herself will contest from Nandigram.
নন্দীগ্রাম সিট এমনিতে এটা জেনারেল সিট কাজেই কোনো অসুবিধা নেই এমনকি আমি যদি নন্দীগ্রামে দাঁড়াই কেমন হয় এটা আমার ইচ্ছা হয়েছে আমার মনোবাসনা ভবানীপুরকেও আমি নেগলেক্ট করছি না ভবানীপুরেও আমি ভালো প্রার্থী দেব ওটা আমার ভালোবাসার জায়গা বক্সিকে বলবো নন্দীগ্রামেও আমার নামটা যেন থাকে
The dare was promptly accepted by Shivendu Adhikari.
আজকে সন্ধ্যাবেলা ঘড়িতে টাইম দিয়ে ডেট দিয়ে আপনারা লিখে রাখুন হাফ লাখ ভোটে যদি মাননীয়াকে হারাতে না পারি আমি রাজনীতি ছেড়ে দেব
In 2007, it was Nandigram where Mamata had vowed to overthrow the left regime. 14 years later, she has thrown the gauntlet at the Saffron Party.
एक ही बात लगता है कि भवानीपुर से जीतने का कोई संभावना नहीं है इसलिए सेफ सीट ढूंढ रही है आज बंगाल में टीएमसी के लिए कोई भी सीट सेफ नहीं है डर रही है पता नहीं डरे होंगे नहीं तो इतना दूर क्यों जाएंगे
Is it a master stroke by Mamata or a gamble that could prove costly for Didi? With Indrajit Kundu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Day after meeting Home Minister Amit Shah, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy is going to be meeting Prime Minister Modi at 10 a.m. today. Talks are likely on finalizing an alliance for the upcoming Tamil Nadu Assembly polls. The AIA-DMK is looking to put a united house ahead of the polls. After Shashikala's release from jail, the option of aligning with her AMMK may also be on the agenda. In the key meeting with Shah yesterday, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is said to have discussed very crucial topics of the seat sharing, alliance strategies and most importantly, Shashikala's re-entry into Tamil Nadu. India's vaccination drive kick-started on Saturday, but the response is yet to pick up. After the completion of 2 days of immunization drive, just over 70% of the planned beneficiaries have taken the jab. The decline in the new COVID cases and concerns of the vaccine approval are being cited as the reasons behind less than expected compliance. Here's a look.
It was a big shot in the arm in the fight against COVID-19 when India began its vaccination drive on Saturday. But after weeks of extensive dry runs and elaborate arrangements for the vaccine rollout, the response is yet to pick up. Just over 70% of the planned beneficiaries took the shots during the first 2 days of the drive. In the first 3 days, India reported 580 adverse events. 2 deaths have been reported so far. A ward boy in Moradabad died 24 hours after taking the vaccine. Doctors have ruled out any link to the vaccine. Another death is reported in Karnataka. A post-mortem will be done to ascertain the reason for death.
A total of 381,305 beneficiaries have been vaccinated till 5 p.m. as per the provisional reports, and no case of serious, severe AFI is attributed to vaccination till date.
While states like Arunachal Pradesh, Telangana and Odisha recorded a high compliance rate of over 80%, others such as Tamil Nadu, Punjab and Tripura could only meet just over 20% of the target. To add to the concerns, CoWIN app that registers and tracks vaccine beneficiaries has been facing many glitches. Delhi, for instance, has just started calling up registered health workers to alert them about their turn.
Some glitches with the app, the messages had not gone. So we personally made calls, and now we are again making calls to the people who are there in the list and have not showed up as yet. So there may be reasons because being a hospital, they may be having a later shift in the day and they may come later in the day.
It's day 3 of the vaccination drive across the country. On day 1, we saw all states doing it. Day 2, only 6 states were doing it. Right now we are reporting from a vaccination center in Delhi, which is the Delhi Cancer State Institute Hospital, where a few people who have received messages to come inside the vaccine centers are here. Right now, we have seen that the numbers are dwindling. The number of healthcare workers to be vaccinated are lesser today.
Many reasons are being cited for the less than expected compliance. Several surveys have shown that healthcare workers are adopting a wait and watch approach and are wary of the new vaccines. Many are raising questions about the emergency use in clinical trial mode approval granted to Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. With the COVID numbers on the decline, the urgency to get the shots is also missing among the health workers. With Milan Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, warnings of extremist violence from pro-Trump groups has sent law enforcement agencies across the United States of America rushing to secure government buildings. At least 25,000 troops of the National Guard have been deployed in Washington, D.C. Here's a report.
Washington, D.C. has become a fortress ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration on Wednesday. Every effort is being taken to ensure that the January 6th violence by pro-Trump supporters in Washington, D.C. is not repeated. Security is at the highest level after the FBI expressed fears of an insider attack. Each of the 25,000 National Guards deployed in the capital are being screened.
So every guardsman takes an oath, and it's to defend the Constitution from enemies foreign and domestic. And as we've seen, sometimes the enemies are a little closer to home.
Pennsylvania Avenue, National Mall, the White House, and the area around the Capitol building have been sealed with 8 feet high iron barricades.
There are guardsmen from all 50 states, all territories are here supporting the District of Columbia National Guard.
The security detail is not limited to Washington. Capitol buildings in every state is seeing heavy security presence following an FBI warning of armed demonstrations. The heightened security is not going to play spoil sport with Biden's show. The 46th president plans to go ahead with the inauguration ceremony in its traditional location. Bureau Report, India Today.
We're slipping into a very short commercial break here on India Today. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us. There's been a massive controversy raging over Saif Ali Khan's star web series Tandav. The BJP has accused the OTT platform Amazon and the makers mocking Hindu gods and hurting Hindu sentiments, and that's the allegation that is coming in. At least 2 FIRs have been filed, and the INB Ministry too has sought a clarification from the makers of the series. Here's a look.
Another OTT show is facing heat for allegedly hurting religious feelings. Amazon Prime's latest release, Tandav, is caught in a political crossfire after multiple BJP leaders complained that the serial ridicules Hindu gods and goddesses. A section also claimed the show had anti-Dalit content.
तांडव वेब सीरीज के अंदर जो भी गलत चीजें हैं, लोगों की भावनाओं को ठेस पहुंचाने वाली हैं, उनको तत्काल हटाया जाए और अगर हटाने में कोई देरी की जाएगी तो उसमें कार्रवाई भी होगी और उत्तर प्रदेश में उसे प्रतिबंधित भी किया जा सकता है।
देश में कुछ प्रोड्यूसर, डायरेक्टर्स, एक्टर्स हैं जो हिंदू देवी देवताओं पर लगातार मजाक बनाते हैं अपनी फिल्मों में। हमें लगता है ये किसी के इशारे पर काम कर रहे हैं। इनकी मानसिकता ये दर्शाती है कि देश में कोई माहौल खराब करना चाहते हैं और हमारी आस्था पर करोड़ों करोड़ हिंदू भाइयों की आस्था को आहत करते हैं। तो हम मांग करते हैं कि इनको लाइफ टाइम बैन किया जाना चाहिए।
The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has now asked for an explanation from the streaming platform. An FIR has been filed in Lucknow against the director, producer and writer of the series and the head of original content at Amazon India. The crew later issued a clarification saying that the series is fictional. The makers have also apologized for hurting sentiments.
शक्ल देखनी चाहिए थी समर की, पैरों के नीचे से जमीन खींच ली आपने।
Tandav is the first serial to run into trouble after all OTT platforms were brought under the INB Ministry recently. All eyes are now on the ministry as the never-ending debate between creative freedom and religious sensitivity rages on. Bureau Report, India Today.
It has been a rollercoaster ride for Mohammed Sirajs on this tour of Australia. On day 4, Sirajs picked up a 5-wicket haul, and it was a fitting reward for the young man who has been through a strange journey. But in the end, he's come out as a winner.
Mohammed Sirajs has seen it all. In a matter of few weeks, Sirajs has gone through a sea of emotions. The last test of the tour is a fitting reward for the young Hyderabad paceman who claimed his maiden 5-wicket haul. He now finds himself alongside an elite list of Indians to have achieved the feat at the Kaaba. In fact, only 4 others. But this tour has been more demanding than anything else for Sirajs, who lost his father very early on this tour.
फैमिली में भी मैं मॉम से भी बात किया था। मॉम ने भी बोला कि बेटा देख, जो अल्लाह हर किसी को ऊपर तो जाना है। आज डैड गए, कल मुझे भी जाना है, तो तेरे को भी जाना है। तो मम्मी ने बोला उधर ही रहे, बस पापा की जो ख्वाहिश थी कि तू इंडिया के लिए खेलते जा, वही तू कर, वहाँ पर रह के और अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस कर इंडिया के लिए, बस नाम रोशन कर।
Sirajs chose to stay back and fulfill his father's dream of playing for India, and emotions were writ large on his face.
जैसे डैड की ख्वाहिश थी कि मैं इंडिया के लिए खेलना, मेरे बेटे का मैच पूरी दुनिया देखना, तो काश वो आज मेरे साथ रहते तो वो बहुत ही खुश रहते थे। बट उनकी दुआ थी जो आज मैं 5 विकेट लिया। मैं बहुत मतलब स्पीचलेस हूँ मैं ये परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में, मतलब कुछ बोल नहीं सकता।
The ordeal didn't stop for the gutsy speedster. He wasn't just battling with emotions and Aussies on the field, but there were others too. Sirajs was subjected to racial abuses from the crowd every day in Sydney, but he didn't take a step back.
From the gestures, they've been asked to leave.
From nowhere, Sirajs got an opportunity to play Test cricket, and in Brisbane, he found himself leading an inexperienced Indian bowling attack. The abusers from the stands were not to be heard anymore, and the very Australian crowd rose from their seats to give Siraj a standing ovation for his accomplishments. A proud moment for India, Siraj and his late father, a rickshaw driver who wished to see his son wear the India cap one day. Sports Bureau, India Today.
The young Indian bowler who's had quite an impact on this series.
Shubham Gill has brought up his 50 as India make a strong start on day 5 of Gaba Test. The right-hander looks solid from the word-go. India lost Rohit Sharma early on. Chiteshwar Pujara then joined Shubham and the duo stitched together a 50-run stack. The Indian opener brought up his half-century before lunch, his second of the series. India is chasing 328 to win on the final day.
Perfect length, and the #1 bowler in the world is in the wickets again.
That's a wrap from me, Chaiti Narula, on this bulletin. For more news and updates, don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or go ahead and download our app. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us on India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.